Welcome to Rocksolid Productions, where in this episode we're going to walk you through the steps of updating the firmware on your Hyperkin RetroN SQ and hopefully addressing some of the pre-launch issues. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Gary here from Rocksolid Productions. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I just want to take a second and say thank you for stopping by and checking out what we have going on here today. I really do appreciate it. If you like what you see here, I invite you to check out some of the other videos that we have here on the channel, including our full-blown review and unboxing of the RetroN SQ. It left a little bit to be desired. And if you really like what you see here, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way every time we upload new content, you are kept the most informed and up to date. And what I want to know from you here today, the RetroN SQ is designed to allow you to play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games on your television. Back in the day, did you ever have a Super Game Boy or a Game Boy player for your Super NES, Super Famicom, or GameCube so that you could do just that? Let me know, I'm really kind of interested. So in our recent review of the RetroN SQ, the performance was okay-ish on Game Boy and Game Boy Color games and really lackluster on the Game Boy Advance side. It was kind of disappointing, quite honestly. Now the folks over at Hyperkin, I've been in contact with them, and they have sent me a firmware update for the system for us to check out here to see if we can make improvements on the overall design and performance of the way that works on screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit down at the computer, we're going to show you exactly how to go ahead, download and install the software and firmware that you need to make the updates on here, and then we're going to try it out. Let's go. So let's walk you through all the steps that you are going to need to follow through here to update the firmware on the RetroN SQ. Now, one thing of note is when I try to go ahead and read the SD card, as you can see here, I've got my Windows Explorer open, and if you listen, I'm going to go ahead and insert the micro SD card via an adapter into my laptop right now. Windows recognizes it, but it should load right here next to my two hard drives that, like, it's installed into the system. It does not. So what I actually did is I went out and I bought a SanDisk micro SD card and adapter. And that's actually the same adapter that I was just using with the included SD card from the RetroN SQ. Now, if I put that micro SD card into the adapter, you watch my window here. There it is. So you can see 29. Actually, I guess I bought a 32 gig. I thought I only bought 16. All right. Well, bigger card than what I thought. So what we're going to do is I'm going to close down that window there, close down this one, and as we get started, there are a few pieces of software we're going to need. First and foremost, this is a Windows PC, and the upgrade process is for going through on a Windows PC. You'll need an SD card reader, either an external or internal one, and an internet connection. Now, next, you'll want to go to the page that Hyperkin is going to have set up for the RetroN SQ. Now, that page is not set up yet, but I'm assuming it'll probably be similar to like this drivers, where you can see you have firmware updates for, there's for the RetroN 5, here's for the Admiral. We've actually walked you through how to update the Admiral. Check that video out on the channel if you would like. Now, I already have those pieces of software provided to me. Soft, I sound a little New Yorker there, hey, soft. So you'll go to the landing page, and they should have a zip file that you will download, and that is this file here. This image is RetroN SQ image file version 1.1, it looks like. And what you'll also want to do is create a folder on your desktop for firmware updates. So I have this folder here, RetroN 1 firmware. And we'll go through and we are going to extract all, and we are going to browse straight to that firmware. Here we have desktop, RetroN 1 firmware. Select folder, extract. Takes just a few seconds. Now, if I go into that folder itself, there you can see the image file and everything that we have here. So I'm going to minimize that for now. The next is you are going to need a piece of software called Win32 Disk Imager. And that's another thing I already have downloaded and installed on here. And when you run this software, you want to run it as an administrator just to make sure that you've got access to do everything that you're going to need to do. Now, we've already gone ahead and installed the micro SD card in our computer, so we're good to go there. What we need to do is we need to select the image file we want. So you click on the envelope here. So we navigate straight to our folder where we have everything saved. That's why I say save everything to your desktop. There's the folder we are looking for. And next we need to go ahead and write that firmware to the proper location. So select what drive we are looking at and just bringing in our window here again. If I look here on the side, my SD reader is drive D, so I want to verify that. If you do not have the right file selected or the right drive, bad things will happen. Now, and I do want to show you real quick, and just some of the issues that I've run into. I'm going to close Win32 Disk Imager, and I'm going to put the stock SD card back in because I thought, okay, maybe it's like one of those images where I can't read it on a PC, but I can go ahead and I can write to it. So I'm going to open up Win32 Disk again here. So now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to select the firmware, right? So we're going to go into our folder here, select the firmware. Device does not allow me to select anything, which again is one of the issues with the stock SD card and the way that it's written in here at least. So popping out the stock SD card, I'm going to put my new one in. And there you can see it auto-detect that as D. Again, telling me everything is empty. So we're good here. So now that I have the right firmware image file selected and I have my SD card selected, I need to press write on the Win32 Disk Imager and wait until the writing is finished. Come over here to write. Writing to a physical device can corrupt the device. Do you want to continue? And then you click yes, and you confirm that you're going to overwrite it. Writing takes fairly little time. The write is successful. Now, if you notice, I can't select that D drive anymore. So it is one of those things where it formats your SD card in such a way it is not recognizable by Windows. So I may have been able to do this with the stock SD card. I will tell you one of the reasons why I didn't, and I just bought a new one as well, is simply because this way I can go ahead and go back to the old firmware if I so desire. So let's go ahead back to our system and let's try this out. So we have our micro SD card in our adapter here. We're going to throw it in the system in just a second. And originally I was just going to sit down, load it up, start playing, see if we saw a difference. I actually want to share with everybody here what the system actually does as it's going through a firmware update. Now, because it may not be delivering a signal quite properly, I don't think my capture card will work. So we're just going to show you it right on camera. The heck with it, we'll do it live. So we're going to power our system off and pop out the micro SD card back here. You may find it helpful to remove the USB-C cable. Now we have our new firmware SD card here. Pop it in, plug it in, and as you can see, didn't change anything, same game and everything. It's powered on and see what happens here. That's normal for my TV, so don't sweat that. Getting some flashy flash there. Loading. All right, loaded the game. Now, one thing I did want to show too, and this did not affect, if you'll notice on the bottom of the screen here, how it's cropped. Now, no matter how I size my screen on my TV here, and this is a Samsung TV, I can do a picture size here, and it's set right now to Smart View. There's Smart View 1, still cropped. Screen fit, still kind of sort of cropped. 4:3 definitely cropped. Wide fit definitely cropped. So it's still kind of sort of, unless I do a screen fit, it crops off a lot of this bottom line. Okay, the firmware is now successfully updated. I wish there was a way that it would tell you what your firmware version is. So now what we're going to do is, we know Game Boy and Game Boy Color games for the most part worked, but I'm going to retest one of each just to see if we've got any improvement here, and this we will capture. All right, a game that I really wanted to play during the review and just didn't load right. Here I have Ducktales 2. And we're going to go to normal. I screwed that one up. D-pad definitely feels better in this, but I was just getting some slowdown there if you notice. A little bit more slowdown there too. So playing through this so far, one thing I am noticing is that the D-pad is much more consistent in its performance now. I'm not noticing the missing input and whatnot like I did earlier on my original review. Ooh, for a second there I thought I was going to miss the jump, but I didn't. Button presses seem to be going exactly as they should be. So at least for that, the firmware seems to be improved. So as such, what I'm actually going to do then is I am going to go and throw Tetris back in, because that is a game that I had some problems with, but so far much better. Although, like I say, I am noticing some slowdown on this that I did not experience the first time around as I died. So let's go back to Tetris now. So we're going to do the exact same test as we did in our original review. Oh my god, it actually works right. Like, this is how it should have been out of the box for the review. So much better. Like, oh my, it's a different system. It's a completely different system. I mean, you're seeing now the button presses, they're precise. They're as they should have been out of the box. I mean, and if you go back and watch the review, if you saw, I was being kind of tentative in Tetris. And I don't have to be now. The system does what it's supposed to do. Okay, this is so much better than it was out of the box. Words cannot describe how much better this was. Actually, no, words can describe, because before it was craptastic. It was almost unplayable. And now this is very playable. This is what, again, at least in my opinion, what I feel it should have been out of the box. Okay, but now the real test, as we get another, I mean, look how quickly I'm able to get through a couple Tetrises here and whatnot, get up another level. All right, I'm liking what I am seeing right now, but now the big one is going to come. We're going to throw in a Game Boy Advance game, and we're going to see exactly, because I don't have anywhere to go with this piece, we're going to see how the Game Boy Advance now looks and plays, because before, here is Super Mario Advance for Super Mario Bros. 3, and at least looking at the intro cutscenes, much better. Still not as smooth as the Game Boy player, at least through here. Nope. Oop. That was my fault. I was hitting Y and B versus B and A. So let's go ahead and go look here. Yeah, still not great there. Okay, the colors look good, but I'm still noticing some frame drops here. Now, again, not apologizing for this or anything, but the Game Boy Advance is a beta feature. They've been very clear about that. Okay, so still not perfect. I mean, it's, oh, dang it, and that was my own fault getting sloppy there. We'll go back. So let's go back into here. That was my own stupidity. I mean, you can still see the animation on Mario is not what it really should be. It's missing like every other step as he's running here, if you watch him across the screen. It still has room for improvement, but over what it was when I took this out of the box, this is a step in the right direction. Still not perfect, but man, again, compared to what I initially experienced, this is so much better. I'll get the power block there, get some coinage. So again there, as you saw Mario run, you could kind of see how it was skipping frames of animation. It reminded me a lot of blast processing to get the frame rate to where it needed to be. It was definitely missing something there. Demo card, power up card, I don't remember what that is. But let's just go here again into another level. I mean, still not, like I say, still not great. It is, to me, a little bit blurry yet and in need of some improvement. Oh, that was bad. And I missed getting down the pipe then, too. Dang it. And part of that is me trying to compensate for what the system is doing out of the box. My thing here is this is at least how it should have been out of the box. And being a beta feature, Game Boy Advance may never work properly. But this is, if you figure in a couple of days they came up with this update, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Let's wrap things up. So those are the steps that you go through to update the firmware on the RetroN SQ. What do I think of this version of the firmware versus the original? Well, it is an improvement. It is absolutely an improvement. But it wasn't going to take much to improve over what the system was out of the box. I'm glad to see that they were able to get this firmware update done as quickly as they have. I will be providing this feedback to them, so hopefully the version that is live when these start shipping is even better than this one here, because again, whatever they did here, do more of that. That would really be terrific. I am a bit disappointed that no matter what I did, I could not get the stock 512 megabit micro SD card to read on my computer. I'm thinking that has to do very similar to like if you put a Blu-ray in, you can't necessarily read the different files and chapters on the disc, but if you have the right program, like oh, what am I thinking of? Well, anyways, DVD and Blu-ray ripping software can actually view all the chapters, view all the files for you. I'm thinking it's something similar to this, especially since they're using Image Writer to transfer the files. They're writing an image, essentially a CD or a DVD-ROM, to a micro SD card. So I'm thinking that that's what that issue may be. As such, it's next to impossible for you to tell what firmware you already have on your system. You can't look at what's on the SD card. It is impossible the way that it is right now. So I would like to see them go ahead and change that, at least when it boots up, or hold down a key press or something, so that way you know what version firmware am I even on. That is something I would like to see them address in the future. And again, I am hoping that before this ships to anyone, this firmware update has been applied to all existing stock of the RetroN SQ. This is really something, having done plenty of these myself in the world of RC, this really should be a manufacturer level rework. Now, these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Do you think this improved the overall performance of the RetroN SQ versus our original video? And if you haven't seen that, I'll have it linked right up there for you. Is this something now that it's getting better enough for you to consider buying? Again, let us know down below in the comment section. If you do have any other comments or questions, as always, you can also email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can send me a message on Twitter at RockSolidStudios. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions and Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. Now, one thing I didn't mention that I'm glad that was addressed in that, the input lag was gone. No controller issues whatsoever. Yes! Thank you, Hyperkin, for that. That was a pretty serious issue. Now, if you do want to go ahead and pick one of these up, I will have a link down below to both our Amazon affiliate links, and hopefully soon we will have our links to CastlemaniaGames.com. And the cool thing over there, if you do order through CastlemaniaGames.com, you earn what's called Castle Cash. It's his rewards program, where the more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases, and Castle Cash is just like cash. Beautiful thing too is if you use promo code ROCKSOLID10, you can save 10% off of most items on the website. He doesn't have these listed yet, but generally speaking, systems are not covered by those discounts and whatnot. Now, if you are looking for any other videos, tutorials, how-tos, things like that, those links are coming up right now. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to support the future of Rock Solid Productions, you can do so by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you'll get early access to all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. You can also become a channel member here on YouTube for as little as $1.99 a month, and with that, you get a badge next to your name when you comment or post on the channel, and you are acknowledged whether you are a channel member or a Patreon supporter at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also support the channel by visiting our Teespring store on screen now, where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, masks, cell phone cases, and much more. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.